what happened is when we were going back from our shopping and everything was done, we were in the auto rickshaw and I had a lot of bags in my lap. So somehow my wallet, like my main bag, which I was carrying, it fell off on the road, and it fell up on the other side where all the cars and other transport were passing by. And I had few very delicate stuff in the bag which broke. So the car that passed by did stamp on the bag and it had to break it. And so पहले दिन ऐसे कुछ हो गया जो इसमें I lost few things, so my mood was a little off, a little bad. So we headed towards the hotel after that, and we just had a dinner and we just slept till again another day in Jaipur with another vlog. So we just had a breakfast and look at this place, it's so beautiful. There's ample of option to eat. So after that we decided to head out for the second day in Jaipur, and we have to explore a few more stuffs and forts and palaces. So we decided for today's plan, like we'll be visiting the city palace of Jaipur, and then we'll go and have lunch, and then later on for the Amer Fort. So as we go on, we'll take you all with us. So stay tuned. So finally we reached the city palace of Jaipur, and this is one of the palace where is one of the most expensive tickets in Jaipur you have to take. So they have division and various segments to have the enter to the palace. So there are tickets based on, if you want to visit only the museum. There are some composite tickets. There are tickets that is available at museum at night, and there are the Royal Grandeur and the Royal Splendor, which is one of the most famous tickets that's getting sold out in this palace. But it's actually very expensive, so they charge around 2,500 to 2,000 rupees for per person to visit all the royal splendor places, and that's the main entry that you get to the palace. So if you are okay to spend so much money per head, you can go ahead, but I would suggest it just a one-time visit. And if you are not really into all the photography and taking good really professional pictures, you can skip this as well. But as you're here and if you want to spend some money, you can definitely go and have a one-time visit. So I personally chose the ticket entry to the palace, and that cost me around 2,500 to 2,000 rupees per person, and I was okay with it. So I think it's worth the visit, but just a one time. So you can just think about it and you can just buy your tickets based on that. And with this, you'll also get a tour guide with you, who will guide you through all the places and all the palaces, Niwas and the forts. So he'll guide you. So the whitish and creamish building that you see on the back side, they're actually the present king is staying with his family, and that's a very restricted area, obviously, because it's their own personal property and personal space, where we tourists don't have the permission to have an entry, and that's completely a different exit and entry of their own personal area. But rest of the palaces you can roam, and for that you have to buy the ticket from the outside. So the flag at the top of the Chandra Mahal belongs to the royal family and is only unfurled when the Maharaja is in the palace. So you can see this is the gate where the main entry is there for the king's palaces, and we do not have entry over here. So now we're heading towards with our tour guide to the major palace where we have the tickets for the royal entry, and the first room that we are visiting is the Rang Mandir. So this stunning room is called as the Rang Mandir, or you can also call as a mirror room, and has this impressive mirror work. And the most important part of this room is the light bounces across the mirror tiles in this Rang Mandir. So it's a very neat, decorative, and very small room with mosaic of mirrors throughout. You can just see there are mirror work everywhere, and the light reflects from one wall to the other. So in some time there'll be a guide tour in the room particularly, who's going to close all the doors and the lights. They're going to switch it off, and they're going to lit two candles to show it to you how the light reflects in the mirror, and it looks absolutely like stars all over the place. So City Palace was built by Sawai Jai Singh, who headed the Kachwaha Rajput Clan and holds the credit of being the founder of Jaipur. The palace served as his residing throne, and he started the construction of the palace way in the 17th century, as he wanted to shift the capital of the state from Ambir to Jaipur. Raja Man Singh was the last ruler of this dynasty to hold the throne in this palace. The beautiful structure was designed by architects Vidyadhar Bhattacharya and Samuel Swinton Jacob, who brought an European influence to the design. So when we are done with the mirror room, we headed towards the blue room, which is also known as the Chhavi Niwas. So a blue room, this is basically a plaster and painted small room that is blue in color, and there is no furnishing at all. The original paint was though done around 1800s, and it says that it is still kept intact. So I don't know how much it is true to what they say, but that's how they have maintained it. It is said that this room was basically used to enjoy the monsoon rains and the climate from the top of the second floor. It is said that the Hall of Images, or Chhavi Niwas, is the fifth floor of the Chandra Mahal. That was the rest place of Maharaja during the monsoon season or the rainy season. The original structure of City Palace was built by Maharaja Jai Singh, who started with the outer wall. Over the decades since then, buildings and courtyards were added to the premises, and so all the structures inside the palace date bear a different timestamp.
तो सर बोलते हैं शोभा निवास, सेम यूज है। पहले रॉयल फैमिली का आती दीपावली फेस्टिवल आता है, तो दीपावली लक्ष्मी पूजा होती है अपने।
ये हटा दीजिए, मैं ना वो खाता
इस टाइप का है।
So once we're done with the Chhavi Niwas, we headed towards the most awaited room, that is the Shobha Niwas. So Shobha Niwas, or it is also known as the Hall of Beauty, is on the 4th floor of the Chandra Mahal. The walls of the Shobha Niwas are decorated with mirror walls, ornamented with mica and gold leaf. The Shobha Niwas is rich in decoration with gold and glasswork. This room was initially used for the religious purpose, especially to pray during the Hindu festivals such as Diwali and Holi. Shobha Niwas Diwan-i is a hall which has bright ceiling furnished in red and gold colors. The hall displays an art gallery that has exquisite miniature paintings of Rajasthani, Mughal and Persian art, ancient text, embroidered rugs, Kashmir shawls and carpet. The architectural style of City Palace is a beautiful melange of Rajput, European and Mughal style. Built out of red and pink sandstone, this palace has vast courtyards surrounded by several arched smaller palaces. These small palaces have now been converted into museums, and tourists can move around the palace either on their own or take a guided tour. So this place is basically the Diwan-i-khas, and the other highlights in the public areas of the City Palace Museum include the two giant silver urns located in the Diwan-i-khas. They are listed in the Guinness Book as the largest silver objects in the world. Their original purpose was to carry sacred water from the river Ganges to London for Madho Singh II to drink during his stay there in 1901. We also had the opportunity to visit the king's dining room, which is actually a combination of these meeting rooms. So whenever the king is living in this palace, he makes sure he takes all his meetings in that particular room, and it would still exist. There was no photos or cameras allowed for this room, and it's fully furnished with all silver architectures and vases, and fully furnished with chairs, carpets, photos, trophies and many more. It is said Maharaja Sawai Madho Singh was concerned about committing a religious offense by drinking English water. As a result, the vessels are known as Gangajalis, that is, Ganges water urns. In addition, several crystal chandeliers are hanging from the ceiling, usually covered with plastic sheets to avoid dust accumulation, and are revealed on special occasions. Diwan-i-khas held all significant events involving eminent authorities and courtiers. The red stone archways, and supported by marble pillars and decorated with white paints, are so breathtaking that words fail to do them justice. Inside one of the museums, you can also see the local artists displaying their skills like painting or jewelry making, and you can purchase handicrafts from here. So we were done with the tour of the City Palace of Jaipur, and it took a good amount of 2 to 2.5 hours for us to finish it. And it was almost lunchtime, so we were really tired and we were hungry, so we decided to head out to a restaurant. And this time we tried out the most famous Rajasthani thali with the dal bati churma and some rotis. And so after lunch we headed towards our next destination, and to know more about that, stay tuned with us, and there'll be more things coming up in the next vlog. And if you like this video, do subscribe to my channel and support, and thank you for watching.